So if you're listening to this right now, I want you to just, take a deep breath.
Yeah, literally just let your shoulders drop.
Exactly. Settle in. Welcome to today's deep dive. Imagine we're just sitting in a couple of cozy armchairs with a warm cup of coffee or tea, because today's mission is all about slowing down.
It really is.
Yeah.
We are so culturally obsessed with, massive overnight overhauls.
Oh, the wrecking ball approach.
The idea that personal growth means you need a complete demolition of your life, like wake up at 4 in the morning, take an ice bath.
Drink a raw egg, change your whole career by Tuesday.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But if you look at the actual linguistics of how we learn and adapt, that wrecking ball method is, it's basically guaranteed to fail.
Because the human brain just hates sudden demolition.
Yeah, it does. It creates this massive stress response. When you demand instant change, your ego feels attacked.
Right.
Real transformation is so much quieter. It happens in these tiny, almost invisible shifts in the vocabulary we use to describe our reality.
Which is perfectly aligned with our source material today. And honestly, this comes from such a genuinely surprising place.
It really does.
It's an English language learning guide. On the surface, it's just vocabulary for beginners. But underneath that, there is this profound, deeply peaceful philosophy about how we talk to ourselves.
Yeah, how to talk to yourself like a dear friend, really.
Exactly. So let's just sit with these concepts today. Let's see how a few specific words can build a more resilient life.
And the foundation of all of this starts with how we view our own potential. The source leans heavily on psychologist Dr. Carol Dweck.
Oh, right. The fixed versus growth mindset.
You got it. Because to understand why changing our words works, we have to look at the cognitive software we're currently running.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because a fixed mindset, it basically operates like your talents are completely static.
Yeah, like you're handed a certain amount of skill at birth, and that's it. No upgrades allowed.
Right, it feels like a dead end. If you fail a test, your brain doesn't say, I failed, it says, I am a failure.
And that's terrifying. If failure is a permanent identity, then every challenge is a massive threat. You just stop trying.
You just lock yourself in a dark room. But a growth mindset flips that. It's the belief that your abilities are just starting points.
Right, they're malleable. In a growth mindset, failure is just data. It's just information telling you, hey, that approach didn't work.
But you can't just magically switch from fixed to growth.
No, of course not. You need a bridge. And what's fascinating here is that the source gives us the ultimate linguistic tool for this. It's just one tiny magical word.
Yet.
Changing I can't do this to I can't do this yet.
Which, it sounds like a cute motivational poster at first glance.
It does, but neurologically, it is so powerful. I can't do this is a closed loop. Your brain shuts down to conserve energy.
Because it thinks the problem is unsolvable.
Exactly. But adding yet is like leaving a door cracked open to let the sun shine in.
I love that imagery.
Yeah. You're acknowledging the present. You aren't delusional, you are currently struggling, but you're projecting a positive future trajectory. Your brain boots up its problem-solving networks instead of shutting down.
It gives you hope. But, okay, if yet gives us hope for the future, how do we actually cross that distance?
Well, this is where the source transitions into the slow math of transformation. They bring in James Clear's philosophy on tiny habits.
The 1% rule.
Yes. The math is wild.
Yeah.
If you improve just 1% every single day, you are 37 times better after 1 year.
37 times better, not 37%.
Right. It's compounding interest for your life.
Yeah.
You don't need an exhausting, massive day of change. Just small, faithful steps.
That is a huge relief to hear, but I do have to push back a little on behalf of the adults listening.
Fair enough.
It's so easy to say, take small steps, but as adults, we hate looking silly. A 1% improvement is invisible, and making mistakes along the way. Our adult egos absolutely despise that.
Oh, completely. We want the applause of overnight success. True growth actually requires this deep humility. You have to become like a little child again.
Because a toddler learning to walk doesn't fall down and think, I'm a public embarrassment.
Exactly. They don't think walking just isn't for me. They just adjust their balance and stand up. Mistakes aren't failures for them.
They're just proof that you're trying.
They're just gravitational data. We have to reframe our mistakes the exact same way.
Which brings us to the actual practical vocabulary of a fresh start. Because if we're changing our mindset, we need the actual phrases to use in daily life.
Yeah. The words we use totally dictate our emotional reality. And the source gives some great examples based on the stakes of the situation.
Like for casual moments, if you want tea instead of coffee, you just say, I changed my mind.
Right. It's light. It implies fluidity.
Uh,
But you don't want to use that in a high-stakes professional setting.
oh, definitely not. Saying I changed my mind to a room full of stakeholders sounds so flaky.
It sounds like you're driven by emotions. So the upgrade there is, I have reconsidered my position.
See, that is brilliant.
It really is. It protects your professional ego. It says you took in new data and evolved your strategy.
And for a broader life change, the source talks about saying, I want to start over, like starting a new drawing.
Or the more poetic version, I want to turn over a new leaf. Which implies actual behavioral change, shedding old habits to become a better person.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting for me. The internal vocabulary, how we talk to ourselves in frustrating moments.
Oh, this is crucial. The words inside your head are the most important ones you hear all day.
Like, say you're listening to a really complex presentation. The default is to complain, this is too fast, I don't understand.
Which immediately triggers a stress response. You become a victim of the environment. Your brain just builds a wall.
You guarantee you won't understand a single word. But the rewrite from the source is so empowering. Instead of complaining, you say, this is a good challenge for my ears and I'm learning new sounds.
I love that. One makes you stressed out, and the other makes you feel like a champion. You're an active participant now.
But, okay, let's do a reality check here.
Let's do it.
Because it's easy for this to sound like toxic positivity, like just say yet and smile all the time. But what happens when the chill vibes fade and you're just having a deeply bad day?
Right, when the negative thoughts are just screaming at you.
Yeah. Does a good mindset mean hiding your tears?
No, absolutely not. The source is very careful about this. A growth mindset means accepting the sadness, but just not staying there forever.
Like the storm imagery they use.
Yes, it's such a beautiful metaphor.
Yeah.
The storm rolls in, it's dark, it's pouring rain, but the sun is still up there, hiding behind the clouds.
The storm is a temporary state, not your permanent reality.
Exactly. And that is the definition of resilience. It's the ability to bounce back like a rubber ball dropped on the floor.
So what are the practical tools for when we're in the middle of that storm?
The first one is to pause and reflect, which means literally stopping talking, taking a deep breath, and practicing gratitude.
Which sounds cliche, but it actually stops the brain's panic cycle, right?
It does. It makes the fear disappear by grounding you in reality. And the second tool is to shift your focus. Move your attention away from worrying about the uncontrollable future and bring it back to the present moment.
Okay, can you walk us through some real-life rewrites for shifting focus? Like, say I'm terrified of public speaking.
The default is, I'm terrible at this, I'm going to ruin it. But the shift is, this is an opportunity to share ideas and manage my energy.
Manage my energy, wow. That totally removes the moral judgment. I'm not failing. My body just has a lot of adrenaline right now.
Right, you take the ego out of it. Or what about when you complain you're too busy to exercise?
Oh, I say that all the time.
We all do. But the rewrite is, I can find 10 minutes today to take care of my health because my body is important.
10 minutes, that's the 1% rule again, just finding that small window. So to really bring this deep dive home, the source outlines a chill, practical routine to actually cement these mindset shifts. A way to bookend your day.
Yeah, starting with a morning ritual. And this means before you look at your phone or your computer.
Which is the hardest part.
It is. But you just sit quietly for 5 minutes. And you say thank you for 3 specific, simple things.
Like a warm cup of coffee.
Or the sound of birds outside. Or just a good night of sleep. It starts your brain with a feeling of abundance instead of rushing panic.
And then there's the mirror work.
Yes, looking in the mirror and speaking a positive declaration out loud like, today is going to be a productive and joyful day.
I gotta admit, that feels so awkward to do.
Oh, it feels ridiculous at first, but the source actually says you should just laugh at yourself if it feels funny. Because laughter is medicine for the soul. It breaks the tension.
And saying it out loud makes it physical reality for your brain to hear.
Precisely. And then, for the evening ritual before you go to sleep, you just think about one small victory from the day.
Even if it was a terrible, stormy day.
Even then, you find one good thing, a nice chat with a friend, or honestly, just finishing this very deep dive.
Just one win. So what does this all mean when we look at this whole routine?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it means our minds are a gift. We can renew them every single day. It's a win-win situation where slowing down to change your words ends up changing your entire life.
You don't need the wrecking ball.
No wrecking ball required.
Well, I want to thank you, our listener, for taking this slow, quiet time out of your busy day to explore the beauty of language and mindset with us. As you go through this week, please practice speaking kindly to yourself.
Be a friend to your own mind. And actually, I want to leave you with a final lingering question to ponder as you go about the rest of your day.
Oh, I love these.
We've seen how one tiny word like yet can open a door to the future. So what is one negative phrase you've been repeating to yourself on autopilot? And what beautiful story could unfold if you decided right now to rewrite it?
That is something to sit with. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Take care.